Hi, everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRFBets Race of the Day for Friday, July the 26th. Race number 9 at Saratoga, the $100,000 Curlin Stakes for 3-year-olds, a potential prep for the Midsummer Derby, the Travers. You can bet on the Friday Saratoga card with a new DRFBets account. Sign up using the promo code HELLO, and we'll give you a $100 bonus when you make an initial deposit of $100 or more. Let's meet the field for the Curlin. You can access free formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We will take the field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, Intrepid Heart, Todd Pletcher trainee. This horse went in the Belmont last time out, and he took a little bit of money, first-time blinkers, Mike, and what's become a little bit of a bad habit for him. He didn't break very well. But then after that, I didn't think the trip was comfortable at all. He was in and among horses. He was not close to the golden rail, and he just really didn't fire. It was sort of one-paced. I think there's something here with this horse. I like the inside post. I just need him to get out of the gate.
I do too. I'm not giving up on him yet. I liked his first 2 races quite a bit. His last 2, since they've stepped him up in class, they don't do a lot for me. I hear what you're saying about his Belmont. He was never over towards the inside and maybe too far away also after the slow start. But otherwise, he didn't do that much running as far as I'm concerned. I know he stumbled at the start of the Peter Pan, but I didn't like that effort either. There's something there with him, Dan. I'm not done with him yet. I just don't know how much I trust him in this race. This is a good spot for him, though.
Todd Pletcher formulator fact, past 5 years, 3-year-old dirt routers off 45 to 60-day layoffs in non-graded stakes, 5 for 11, 8 of 11 on the board, almost a $3 ROI. The number 2 is Cairo Cat, who looked good as a 2-year-old for trainer Kenny McPeak. He won the Grade 3 Iroquois, and then he missed a lot of time due to knee issues. This seems like a pretty tough spot off of a long layoff.
I mean, he's hard for me to like in this race. First time back off a layup. There's some pretty good horses in here. I did like him as a 2-year-old. I think it's at least worth pointing out that when he won the Grade 3 Iroquois, Brian Hernandez had a lot to do with that. He gave this horse a perfect trip in that race, and I think it made the difference.
The number 3 is Looking at Bikinis, one of 2 in here for trainer Chad Brown. This horse was a big fig winner in his one and only start as a 2-year-old. Then he missed a good amount of time. He came back in a non-winners of 1 other than, and I don't really think that was the trip they were looking for. He ended up in between horses on the turn. Looked like he got shuffled back a little bit. Once he came with a wide run, for a minute you're thinking, this horse is in trouble, but Javier never panicked. It looked like he never got the whip out. He was very confident. And while he won by a half length, I think it looks better than it does on paper.
I agree with that. I think he did run better than it looks on paper. When you factor in the layoff, the trouble that he had on the turn, which I agree with your take on that. And also just the fact that was a very strongly run race there. They were going a good pace in front. This horse had some things working against him. It did not phase him. He has a lot of ability. Listen, he's got to stretch out around 2 turns here. There are some good horses in this field. I think he fits right in.
Number 4 is Grump's Little Tots, who finished 3rd in the Easy Goer Stakes on the Belmont undercard, placed 2nd by disqualification, and that effort better than it looks because he was really never down towards the inside. It was a solid effort, although I think the Easy Goer was a lousy race.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I don't love that race. He was compromised with his trip, though. The Wood Memorial, I don't think you want to be too hard on him for it. He was a big long shot to be effective in that spot. He could improve going forward, Dan, but he really does have to improve to beat this field.
Number 5 is Rowayton. And as we take a look at the Time Form U.S. pace projector, Rowayton is expected to make the early lead in a blue bar scenario in Time Form U.S. parlance. That means that this race could favor horses on or near the early lead. Rowayton had a miserable trip last time out in the Dwyer. He was beaten by a good horse, Code of Honor, but he was down inside. It looked like he was loaded for bear. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, he got trapped behind horses in there. Rosario was trying to save ground off the pace in there. It just didn't really work out for him. He was probably second best in there, even though he finished 3rd. He obviously ran well 2 starts back. He did get a really good trip and ride from Rosario that day, though. So I guess it all depends on, how much you trust him stretching out, Dan, because that's the big question for him. How far does he want to go? If he wants the 9 furlongs, he's a contender.
I think that's the key point in analyzing Rowayton's chances because it appears he's rounding into form. It's his 3rd start back. He does have speed and should have an advantageous situation according to Time Form US, but I'm not sure about the 1 1/8, and I'm a little concerned about it. The 6 is Direct Order going on for Jason Service. 10 starts in his career, no match for King for a Day and Maximum Security last time out in the Pegasus. Not supposed to be any match for those kind of horses. 2 starts back, I thought he ran okay, went in for the $80,000 tag, and I don't think that race is good enough to win this.
Yeah, I don't either. And he's another one where I'm just not convinced that he really wants to go this far. I think he's in tough anyway against these horses. Then you add in the distance. I don't know. He was hard for me to make in here.
Number 7, Endorse, could very well be the key to the race because I think you can make an argument that he's the most naturally talented runner in the field. Career debut winner at Saratoga. Looked good doing it, beating a couple of next out winners, tracked the pace inside. Joe Bravo had the rail. He decided, I don't want that. I'm going to go outside with that horse. He showed a lot of confidence, and he just ran down the chalk. Didn't fire in the Champagne. It proceeded a long layoff. This horse came back off the bench firing, sprinting. And look at this Kieran McLaughlin formulator fact. Past 5 years, 3-year-old last out winners on dirt going second off a layoff. 9 for 22, 17 of 22 on the board, and a $2.98 ROI. This horse must stretch out 3 furlongs, but has the pedigree to do so.
Yeah, he is really bred to stretch out. So maybe it'll be tough for him to do it in this spot, but you're not supposed to really worry about distance for him down the line. The talent is there. Anybody who's seen his debut or his last race off the lifts, I thought he ran really well in his return, Dan. You know that he can run, and he's supposed to get this far. I think he's a contender in here.
Chad has the undefeated looking at bikinis. You could make the argument that highest honors should be undefeated. He had trouble in his debut at Keeneland over a muddy track while buried down on the inside, and then he stretched out successfully, which is what he is bred to do in his most recent maiden run. With only 2 lifetime starts, I think you can project a lot of upside for him, and I think this outside post position's okay. The question is, will he get pace, and does he need it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he can be close if he has to be. It'll be interesting to see what he does here. He does have the pedigree to go long, and he's run well in his first 2 starts. I was more taken with his stablemate than I have been with his 2 races, but I'm not knocking this horse either.
Mogacha, debut winner at Aqueduct, going 6 furlongs. This will be his first time around 2 turns. Here's the formulator fact for Jeremiah Engelhardt. Past 5 years, 3-year-olds off 45 to 60-day layoff, dirt route, 27% winners, $2.47 ROI. The question is he good enough? He's paired up by our tops in his last 2. I think he's okay. I think this is a tough edition of the Curlin.
Yeah, I thought he was maybe in a little too tough here. There's nothing wrong with the races he's run so far. I just feel like he's in pretty tough against these horses.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the DRFBets Friday race of the day, the Curlin Stakes. I'm out with Intrepid Heart, giving him one more chance. He's battle-tested. I liked his first 2 races, as you did. While I agree he didn't run great in either the Peter Pan or the Belmont, I think the start had something to do with it in the Peter Pan. I don't think it was the most comfortable trip, and I'm not going to blame him for not firing in a mile-and-a-half race and only his 4th lifetime start. Yeah. I think this is a good spot for him, and I have a feeling he's not going to be the favorite. So I'm going to go 1, 3, 7, and 5. You like looking at bikinis, my second selection.
Yeah, I decided to go with the more lightly raced horses, and I was sort of having a tough time deciding between looking at bikinis and Endorse. I put him 1, 2 with looking at bikinis on top, and I put your pick 3rd. I'm not way against Intrepid Heart, Dan. I want to see him do it out there on the racetrack.
So Mike's going 3-7-1. I'm going 1-3-7-5. And Friday's DRFBets Race of the Day, it is the $100,000 Curlin. Remember, to sign up for a new DRFBets account, use the promo code HELLO. I'll give you a $100 bonus. Well, I won't give you a dime, but DRF will if you make an initial deposit of $100 or more. Approximate post time of the Curlin, 5:51 Eastern. Good luck.